Coming to you straight from the heart of Pennsylvania, this is No Spectators Allowed, the podcast where no sports topic is off limits. We're bringing the heat with bold takes, sharp analysis, and everything in between. Hosted by Joshua Specht, it's time to break it all down, call it like it is, and keep it real.
Alright, welcome to the No Spectators podcast. Plenty of sports stories happening around the world. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with the NBA playoffs. Denver and OKC was on today, and for the first two quarters, it was a real game. But before we get into that, just a little reminder for that series. These playoffs, Jokic has been averaging 30 points a game, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been averaging 30 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. The two MVP favorites, so it was really interesting. Plenty were saying, whoever wins this game should win the MVP. And if you were going off that, it would be Shai. It was a really good game at the start. It was very competitive. I mean, both the team's role players were going off at the start of the game. I'm going to pull up these notes really quick. Just at the start, I mean, Christian Braun was the Nuggets' best player in the first quarter, I'd say. He opened up with 9 points in the first couple minutes. Really set the point. You thought the Nuggets were going to take all that momentum and just go with it. But the Thunder kept it close. Their crowd was really into it, really loud. And then right before the end of the second quarter, before halftime, they went on a little run, got the lead right where they needed it to. Halftime went on. I mean, you thought it was going to be a really close game, one of the better Game 7s we've seen in a long time. And right out of the half, the Thunder went on a 14-0 run. And that was the game. I mean, just talking about the first half really quick, both teams, I mean, the Nuggets had every opportunity to run away with that game. Both teams were struggling from three. Neither star, Jokic or Alexander, were leading. It was more the role players, like I said. So, the Nuggets had all the chances in the world to win this series. But yeah, right after halftime, the Thunder went on a 14-0 run, and it was just over after that. No coming back for the Nuggets. I mean, even with Jamal Murray, you'd expect him to help out more. He was averaging 22 points in the playoffs this year. He didn't show up a lot. I mean, you need your star players. I mean, it's not like he's a star in the NBA. He's just very good, I wouldn't put him anywhere in the star category. He's just that very good player, like a DeMar DeRozan. But it was a really good series. Me personally, I was hoping for the Nuggets to win, just because it'd be more of an even 4 teams left with the Timberwolves, and in the East, the Knicks and Pacers. But even with this, I'll get more into my predictions. I don't think it'll be the biggest deal in the world. But like I was saying when I was talking about how they were struggling from 3 in the first half, analytics have ruined basketball. It tells these players, you need to shoot a 3 because it's more valuable than a mid-range shot. No. If you miss the 3, you get 0 points. If you make a mid-range shot, you get 2. Just make your shots. Shoot the best shot possible. All these analytical nerds just talk about, we need to shoot 3s. We need to shoot under the basket. Everything else is useless. No, just play basketball. It's for every sport. Football, basketball, soccer, baseball, golf, anything. All analytics do is just ruin the sport, and if you are truly paying attention, it has. Because in football, you'll have a team on the 40-yard line, 4th and 5. They'll go for it. No, just kick the field goal. Take the points. You'll want them at the end of the game. These teams will do that, then they'll lose by 2 or 1 or 3. If you kick the field goal, you could have won the game, or it could have been going to overtime. You never know when you're going to need those points. In soccer, you'll have teams just not even try. Like, we're talking about grown men here. Just play the sport. But all these analytical idiots just think they know everything when they haven't even touched a field ever. No, just let the players play. We don't need all this analytical junk in the sport. Like, come on. I'm not trying to be hearing, b squared plus x minus yz. We're playing football. You get a handoff, you run, try and score. You throw the ball to your receiver. There's no analytics have ruined sports. I hope they disappear in a couple years. I hope it's just some fad. But it's terrible. Moving on to one of the other NBA series that happened. The Timberwolves wrapped up their series with the Warriors pretty easily, 1-5. Anthony Edwards just looked dominant. 26.5 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He's putting up face to the NBA numbers. I mean, it's an unknown area in the NBA because KD, LeBron, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, all these legends are retiring. Who knows who's gonna be the next star? You don't know. It's unknown territory. I mean, yeah, you have Luka, Tatum, maybe Cooper Flag. I mean, I really think he's going to be a star. But once they're gone, who's the face of the NBA? Anthony Edwards is perfect. High energy, great at basketball, just a fun player to watch. It's really, really great to see. I mean, the last 2 years, he's knocked out all these legends of the game. I mean, last year he knocked out KD, a bunch of other players. This year he's knocked out LeBron, Curry. He's ending legendary careers. And I mean, let's not ignore Julius Randle. He's played amazing these playoffs. 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, if we're going off who's the next face of the NBA, who's the next LeBron, who's the next Kobe, who's the next MJ, I'm taking Anthony Edwards. And Julius Randle to Anthony Edwards MJ is Scottie Pippen. Perfect comparisons right there for both players. They play very, very similar. Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, is easily the choice for the NBA if they want a new face to save them, because, I mean, once all these stars retire, the NBA is screwed. They need a Magic Johnson and Larry Bird type renaissance to save them. Ratings are down and they're not getting better for them. But moving on to the other series, the Knicks won in 6 against Boston, partly because Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. As sad as it is, that's sports, that's life, that's basketball. It happens. Everyone gets injured. The Celtics, maybe Jason Tatum didn't have to get injured, though. Say they didn't blow those 2 20-point leads, they'd be up in the series. Maybe Jason Tatum didn't have to do as much. You never know. But the Knicks 1-6, they looked good. They looked beatable though. You never know what could happen. The Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton putting all his fellow NBA players to shame. I mean, they voted him the most overrated player in the NBA disrespectfully, and he's just proving them wrong. Knocked out the number 1 seed Cavs, looked amazing. Lost series. Knocked out the Bucks. The Pacers are a scary team to play right now. They have all the momentum they need, looking amazing. And just at the start of the playoffs, who would have thought that Knicks and Pacers would be in the Eastern Conference Finals? Who would have thought? And it's pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure the last time the Knicks were in the conference finals was 2000, and they faced the Pacers. So these teams had a history in the 90s, not as much anymore. The NBA really doesn't have any rivalries. It's a bunch of soft players. But my prediction, I'm going to say the Knicks are going to take their momentum, their fans' energy to the finals, beating the Pacers in 6. And I think the Timberwolves will win in 7. I think they will expose the Thunder. I don't think the Thunder are that good of a team. They were hyped up as the greatest team of all time to all the analytical people, and we don't like analytics here. They're not. You're comparing them to the 2013 Heat, the Derrick Rose Bulls, Kobe's Lakers, the prime Spurs, Michael Jordan's Bulls, the Showtime Lakers. Come on now. Olajuwon's Rockets, even Gary Payton and Sean Kemp's Supersonics. They aren't beating those teams. The OKC Thunder. Analytics, like I said, ruined sports. Because you have all these idiots talking to the Thunder like they're good. They almost lost to Jokic by himself. The greatest team of all time. 0-1 Lakers lost 1 game all playoffs, and that was just against Iverson. And then they won every other game in that series. The Bulls, dominant. Like, get out of here with this greatest team of all time. Come on now. Just to wrap up the NBA, just some end-of-year storylines. The draft lottery, as a Sixers fan, a little excited we're either getting Ace Bailey or the other Rutgers player. Can't remember his name right now, but excited to get either one. Either one would be really good. They looked amazing all year. But the NBA lottery is rigged. Mavericks somehow, or they traded Luka, made the play-in, still lost. So they were one of the last lottery teams, and they still won the lottery somehow. I mean, gotta shake my head. Gotta, help my headache just thinking about that. No wonder ratings are down. It's obviously rigged. I mean, you have between the Lakers getting BS calls and all these stars, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting 30 free throw attempts a game. I mean, it hurts my head. It really does. But yeah, the draft lottery, it's rigged. There's no way the Mavericks won the draft lottery. Adam Silver, terrible commissioner, made the call. Nico Harrison, send Luka to the Lakers, you got the number 1 pick. I mean, it's happened so many times throughout the NBA history. It's not even a coincidence anymore. And then, like I was saying, who's the face of the league? Anthony Edwards is the face of the league. Nobody wants to admit it, but everyone loves Anthony Edwards. He's not the greatest human, but he's a great basketball player. And that's all I care about. I'm watching basketball. The winners and losers of the season, I would say a giant loser is the 76ers. They suck. The process is dead. They're a joke. Timberwolves are definitely winners. Everyone thought when they traded Cat, it was over for them, and they're back in the conference finals. Could easily make the finals. It'll be really interesting to see what they do and how they do. But yeah, moving on to the NFL. I decided to make the NFL schedule. It released a couple days ago. Plenty of stories to talk about. But before that, the tush push might disappear. Disappointingly, it's a soft thing to get rid of it. The only reason they're trying to get rid of it is because they can't do it. The Bills are the ones who are trying to get rid of it, and they're the ones who did it on 4th down against the Chiefs and failed. I mean, just think of this. If the Bills converted that 4th down, why would they ever ban the tush push if it helped them win? They wouldn't be. It's just because they can't do it. The league's trying to say injuries, but no one's ever gotten injured from it. They just can't stop it. If the NFL was smart, they'd just tell teams, suck it up. Do what the Buccaneers are doing. They beefed up their defensive line. They have the two biggest players in the NFL on their defensive line specifically to stop the tush push. If teams were real, they'd do that. You're telling me in the early 2000s, the Baltimore Ravens would be crying, get rid of this play? Our defense can't stop it, get rid of it? No. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, they do whatever they could to stop it. The NFL, sports are just so soft nowadays. And these are supposed to be the biggest stars in the country, the most unimaginable people. When kids were in the 90s heard of Michael Jordan, they were hearing insane stories. Now you hear Caleb Williams paints his fingernails. LeBron cries after he, runs into a player, says he tore his MCL, but it's completely fine 2 days later. Players nowadays are just soft, cry all the time, complain. It's terrible to watch. Back in the day, Tom Brady would never be complaining. Ben Roethlisberger would never be complaining. Terrell Owens, Ray Lewis, these players would never be crying like players nowadays. But a rising team or some rookie predictions. I think Cam Ward, he's gonna have an alright year. The Titans are gonna struggle. They're a weak team. I think he'll have flashes and just show what he will be in the future. Travis Hunter, I think he'll have a fine year. Maybe not on the defensive side. He might struggle a little. But on the offensive side, I think he'll definitely produce. The Jaguars won't do too good this year, but they have a core of 3 they could work with. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. Brian Thomas looked amazing last year as a rookie. And then Travis Hunter, he's a unit. He'll do good. For the Patriots, Will Campbell, I think he'll do really good. He was an offensive lineman in the SEC, the best defenses in college football. He'll do fine if he was doing good there. And just looking at how hard of a worker he is at early training camp footage I've seen, he's looked amazing. Hall of Famer written all over him. I forget the Buccaneers wide receiver they drafted, but I think he'll do really good too from Ohio State. Behind Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, he's learning from two of the best in the NFL right now. Doesn't have a ton of pressure on him, and he just quietly produce. He'll be completely fine. Omarion Hampton on the Chargers will do fine. I think Jim Harbaugh will do really good with him. The Eagles just stocked up their defense more with Jahad Campbell. We'll have to make another video deep diving into the rookies, the class more. Maybe later this week we'll just go over the first round, see predictions. I mean, the teams that picked good messed up. But moving on, the Steelers' quarterback situation is still unsolved. Yeah, they drafted Will Howard out of Ohio State. He's not starting year one, though. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be there since the end of the season, and he's still not signed. What are they doing? He was practicing with DK Metcalf. How do you let him leave without a deal? And that is determining your whole season now. If you don't have Aaron Rodgers on your team's screwed. The Steelers are going to be a joke this year if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers. He's their only hope. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers isn't prime Aaron Rodgers anymore, but he's still a really good quarterback. Towards the end of the season last year, he looked really good. He was willing the Jets as best as he could, as dysfunctional as they were. They need to sign him. If not, it's going to be a terrible year. A rising team I have in the NFL this year, I think the Bengals will bounce back. Their defense towards the end of the year showed a lot of will. They just need, the Bengals front office just needs to wake up, sign their rookies. I don't know how stupid they could be not signing their rookies for the defense that they desperately needed to fix. And then they're not signing their best defensive player from last year, Trey Hendrickson. Just sign the man. Give him his money. Like, what are you doing? As a NFL owner, NFL GM, you're stupid. But even with all that off-season hoopla, I think they'll bounce back to really good. New England is going to be a rising team. They had one of the best off seasons in recent memory. From them, they filled a lot of their needs. Drake May is one of the most well-respected quarterbacks in the NFL. Everyone thinks he's going to do amazing, and I think he's going to take a giant jump this year, especially getting to Stephon Diggs, drafting Williams as wide receiver, drafting the running back from Ohio State, Henderson. I think he'll do really good. We filled a bunch of holes on defense. We had a sneaky good offseason. I don't think we're going to go win the Super Bowl or anything, but a wild card team, definitely. Another team, I think the Chargers are going to have a really good year. Also, Tampa Bay. And that's really it for the sneaky good teams, rising teams. I mean, Tampa Bay is not really rising. They made the playoffs, but I think they'll do a lot better this year. Maybe make a run. But just to go over the records for all the teams, let's start now in the AFC with the AFC North. Baltimore, I have going 14-3. I don't think they're going to slow down at all. Everyone's saying Derrick Henry is, but he hasn't proved it yet at all. Lamar Jackson had another really good year, and they just are always good, well coached, and they'll do perfectly fine. Moving on next, I have the Cincinnati Bengals going 13-4. like I said, they'll bounce back. They had drafted 2 really good defensive linemen. Their defense at the end of the year, like I said, improved. They almost snuck into the playoffs. I think they'll do fine and bounce back, have a really good year. I mean, Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's absolutely insane. Jamar Chase, second best wide receiver in the NFL. They're just a very good team. T. Higgins, amazing wide receiver. I wish the Patriots signed him. Next, this is if the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers. I would have them going 10-7. Aaron Rodgers, I think, will do wonders to that team and go out on a good last ride. And then Cleveland, they're Cleveland. They're a joke. They have no quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, trash. Jameis Winston, good, but he's not going to lead you anywhere. Shedeur Sanders, he's going to get ate up in the NFL. I have them finishing 2-15. Moving to the worst division in football, the AFC South. I have Houston finishing 10-7. CJ Stroud, good quarterback. Nico Collins, good wide receiver. Joe Mixon, good running back. It's going to suck without Tank Dell there. He's still recovering from injury, but they'll easily win their division. Next would be Jacksonville going 5-12. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence, he could take a step. Brian Thomas, really good. Travis Hunter, gonna help them, but their defense is suspect. Tennessee, 3-14. They're a terrible team. Cam Ward is gonna help them in the future, but not right now. And then Indianapolis, they're a terrible team. The Anthony Richardson experiment failed. They'll finish 2-15. If anything, I'd trade Taylor and just build for the future. Get some picks. Get whatever you can while you can. And just maybe get Arch Manning in the draft next year if he goes. Just hope for the best, because it's going to be a bad couple years, Colts fans. Moving to the AFC West, this is my surprise division. I have the Chargers going 13-4. I think Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, with all this time working together, are going to take another step. I think Justin Herbert is finally going to break through and be a top quarterback in the NFL. He's always shown flashes and been right there, but he's going to take that extra step. Denver 10-7. Bo Nix, I'm a big believer in. And they just have a well-coached team and a deep team. They all work together, all mesh well. They'll be very good. Then I have Kansas City going 9-9. The big surprise. Just made it to 3 straight Super Bowls, but they're falling off a cliff. Mahomes, yeah, he's good, but Travis Kelce, his best weapon, he's falling off a cliff. He's way too undersized right now for a tight end. And he's just old. He was mulling retirement. He doesn't care about football anymore. Football is the last thing on his mind anymore. And he's going to fall off a cliff. I mean, all last season you just saw him getting beat around the whole time. Every game. Especially in the Super Bowl. He was awful. So, and then Las Vegas will finish 7-10. Ashton Genty will be the leader of that team, just with Pete Carroll. He's a run-first guy. Geno Smith, I think he'll help them, but not enough. They need a quarterback who they could build a future around, and they'll be good in the future, especially with Tom Brady running things. I think he'll get them in the right direction. And then moving to the AFC East, Buffalo, one of the best teams in the NFL. They'll go 14-3. Josh Allen, great quarterback in his prime. Maybe they could get over the hump this year and go to the Super Bowl. One of my surprises, New England goes 12-5. Like I said, Drake May gonna have a very good sophomore year. got Stephon Diggs, got Williams, another wide receiver, still have all our other weapons. We'll do perfectly fine. And Trayvon Henderson was just a 1,000-yard rusher at Ohio State. Get him. Amazing. Our offense, plenty of weapons. Our defense, holes filled. We'll be fine. And we have a pretty easy schedule. So 12-5, and then Miami and the Jets will both go 4-13. Miami, they're gonna be a disappointment. Tyreek Hill, his career's over. Tua's not good, and he'll just get exposed. Mike McDaniel's not a good coach. Good offensive mind, but not a good coach. And then the Jets, they just don't have enough. Yeah, I like Justin Fields as a signing, but there's just too many holes on that team to fill. Moving that NFC, Detroit 13-4 will win their division, narrowly beating Green Bay, who will go 12-5. They're just the two premier teams in that division. Both deep, well-rounded teams, have good players at all positions. Minnesota 8-9. I'm a big JJ McCarthy guy, but this year is not it. Next year, couple years from now, he'll be really good. But Justin Jefferson, it will be the key factor in how they'll do this year. Chicago will go 5-12. I'm not a big believer in Chicago at all. I don't believe in Caleb Williams. He's a lot of bad storylines coming out of him in this offseason, so we'll see how he responds to those. NFC South, Tampa Bay will win it, going 12-5. Like I said, they're by far the best team in this division. Have Baker Mayfield, great quarterback. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, great wide receivers. Bucky Irving, good running back. They're deep. Atlanta will go 7-10. Carolina 5-12, and New Orleans 2-15. The NFC South is wildly known as one of the worst divisions in football, and it'll prove again. Atlanta, they have a good offense. Their defense is suspect, and their coach is just not that good, not well coached, and their quarterback's still young. We got to see how Michael Penix does. Carolina, they'll get a little better, but they just don't have star players. Bryce Young, I want to believe in him. He hasn't really proved anything. He looked a lot better last year. And they improved a little, but not enough to really make any difference. And then New Orleans, they just are terrible. They have no quarterback, no wide receivers. They're old. Alvin Kamara isn't what he used to be. They lost Derek Carr. There's no hope for them. NFC West, I have the Rams going 13-4. I think signing Devontae Adams will be a good signing for them and help Matt Stafford get some good last years remaining. Seattle will go 10-7. Sam Darnold will have a good year. I think he's an underrated quarterback. People are going to judge him on his last couple weeks with the Vikings and the wild card. I think he had a really good year with them, and I think he'll continue with Seattle. San Francisco will go 8-9. They're just old. Their time is done. Their window's closed. It's just over for them, and they're injury prone. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, he's not good. Deebo Samuel, he's not good anymore. Christian McCaffrey, he's very injury prone, and Brock Purdy's just not a good quarterback. I don't know why they paid him that much. I'm not a believer in him at all. And then Arizona will go 6-11. They just don't have any weapons. Yeah, they have Marvin Harrison Jr., but Kyler Murray's not a good enough quarterback to, elevate him. So it'll be really interesting to see how this NFL season goes. Obviously, it's very early. The preseason didn't even start, so there's still plenty of room to maneuver all these standings. I'm sure they'll change a million times before the season actually starts. So this is just a very early prediction, but very real off thoughts. I mean, there's not much more happening in the off season that could change. But just to talk about soccer quick, a lot of leagues are wrapping up very, very soon. Our champions for each league in the countries. In England, Liverpool won. We've known that for a while. Not much of a doubt there. They won by 10 plus points. In Spain, Barcelona won. It was pretty funny. In January, Real Madrid, they were up 10 points, choked the lead, went trophyless. So it's always good seeing Real Madrid fail as a club because they're just nasty. But it also kind of hurts in the Ballon d'Or conversation because that's helping Lamine Yamal. If he wins the Ballon d'Or, scoring 8 goals in the whole season, winning 1 trophy, I mean, it's just terrible. The game will be gone. Moving on to Germany, Bayern Munich won. Not a shocker. They always win. In Italy, it will come down to the last day between Napoli or Inter Milan. They're points separate. I'm excited for that. In France, PSG won. Not a big shocker. They always do. Farmer League. It's not really crazy. Martial with Mason Greenwood finished in second, so that's a little surprise. Good for them getting Champions League football. And in the Netherlands, PSV won. Ajax blew a 9-point lead with 6 games remaining. We were calling that a lock, and they choked it. And then in Turkey, Galatasaray won. Then, moving on to finishing in the European tournaments, the Europa League on May 21st between 2 garbage teams this year finished 17th and 18th in the Premier League, right above the relegation zone. Man United versus Tottenham. I have Man United winning. I just think they're unbeaten in Europe. They're going to continue to be unbeaten in Europe, and they'll do fine. Moving on to the Conference League, May 28th. I have a little shocker between Real Betis and Chelsea. I have Real Betis winning in a late second half goal. Watch for Anthony. I think he'll have a really good game. Chelsea, I think will blow it. I just don't think they're taking anything. I just don't think they're a serious enough team for the occurrence. And then May 31st, to wrap up the soccer year, the Champions League final between Inter Milan and PSG. I have PSG winning. They're just a really deep team, really good. Look complete. It's a whole different squad than what PSG usually has. Usually they just pay for everything, but they built this team and worked with it for a couple years. And I think since PSG is winning, I think Dembele will win the Ballon d'Or. He's had a really good year, won his league, won the League Cup, and won the Champions League. A treble. That's scored plenty of goals, plenty of assists, way better than what Lamine Yamal would do with 8 goals. So, and then just to start on the end of this podcast, talking about some NHL action that's happening. Part of my predictions are ruined because as this podcast is going on, the Toronto Maple Leafs lost Game 7 in heartbreaking fashion. Had an alright first period, and then after that just looked terrible. No fight, and it's just the same old thing with them. Once the playoffs comes around, it's just never working for them, and they just choked. But other than that, the Hurricanes won their series 4-1 against the Capitals. After the Capitals won Game 1, The Hurricanes won 4 straight, just looked in complete control. And Dallas beat Winnipeg, who had the best record in the NHL. So the curse continues with the best team in the NHL record-wise during the regular season not winning the Stanley Cup final. It's been like that since 2012, 2013 with the Blackhawks, and it'll continue another year. Edmonton smoked Las Vegas 4-1 in their series. Never really a competition at all. So there still is a chance for a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. Before Toronto's game, I had them and Edmonton facing in the finals, but obviously that's not happening now. I think it'll be the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final, and the winner will be the Edmonton Oilers, and the Stanley Cup will go back to Canada. And that'll just be the start of Connor McDavid's face of the league story. I mean, the NHL, they are in the same spot as the NBA in a way. Not a terrible game, but their stars are old. Crosby, Ovechkin, they're your two icons. Brought hockey back from after the lockout, saved it. Connor McDavid, he's your best bet for that. And just winning the Stanley Cup will skyrocket him into those Ovechkin, Crosby, Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky conversations. But yeah, my prediction, I'll say Edmonton in 6. I think that'll be a really good final series, and another year of pain and suffering for Toronto fans. But now to wrap it up with MLB. At the time of the recording, the Yankees were beating Mets 2-1, and the rest of these games are finished. The Phillies beat the Pirates 5-2. Cincinnati beat Cleveland 4-1. Colorado, funny enough, being the worst team in baseball by far, won 14-12 against Arizona. Wild baseball score. And the Angels won against the Dodgers 11-9. And just checking up on the standings really quick. In the AL East, the Yankees are leading, with Boston 4.5 games behind. In the AL West, Seattle is winning, with Houston 2.2 games behind. And Detroit is winning the AL Central, with Minnesota 5 games behind. So, other than the West, a lot of room in between. Plenty more to happen, though. It's still early in the season. Just wait until the fall when things really get ramped up. And then the National League, the Mets are 1 game against Philadelphia. Chicago in the NL Central is 2 games up against St. Louis. And in the best division in baseball, the Dodgers are leading San Francisco and San Diego by 1 game each. And that's just a really good division. 3 of the best teams in baseball, in my opinion, in that division. And I just can't wait until fall when baseball wraps up. The end of the season's always interesting with the playoffs. Always a great watch. But that is all of the news for today. We'll get back right to it with the Europa League final Wednesday. The conference championships in the NBA and NHL start this week. We'll be right back to you with plenty more news coverage. Have a good night.